1950s, often called the golden age of American cars. It was a time when automakers didn't just build transportation. They built rolling works of art. Cars were long, low, and full of flair, with sweeping tail fins, chrome for days, and cabins that felt like jet cockpits. But not every beauty from that decade became a legend. In fact, some of the most stunning cars of the era completely flopped in the showroom. They were bold, experimental, and often ahead of their time. And that might have been their downfall. So buckle up, because we're diving into 12 jaw-dropping cars from the 1950s that looked like a dream, but sold like a nightmare. One of them might just be the forgotten dream car you loved as a kid. Number 12 to 1954 Hudson Italia. The 1950s were full of bold experiments, and few cars captured that spirit better than the 1954 Hudson Italia. This wasn't just another American coupe. It was a fusion of cultures, an ambitious collaboration between the Hudson Motor Car Company and the prestigious Italian design house Carrozzeria Touring Superleggera. The goal? Create a car that embodied European sophistication while carrying American strength under the hood. From the very first glance, the Italia was a showstopper. It had sweeping curves, a low profile, and flowing lines that looked like they belonged on a racetrack in Milan. Its body was hand-formed from lightweight aluminum, not the typical steel used by American manufacturers. The delicate craftsmanship made each car feel like a sculpture. Yet, under all that elegance, the Italia was built on the humble chassis of the Hudson Jet, a compact car known more for practicality than performance. Power came from a 202 cubic inch inline-six engine, producing about 114 horsepower. That wasn't bad for the time, but considering the Italia's sleek, performance-ready design, it left many buyers underwhelmed. Then there was the price. For $1,800, a jaw-dropping figure in 1954, even more than the Cadillac Eldorado. For that kind of money, buyers wanted either raw performance or unmistakable prestige, and the Italia offered neither in a way most Americans understood. Only 26 units were ever produced, making the Italia one of the rarest cars of the decade. It wasn't that the car lacked beauty or innovation. In fact, it had both in spades. The real issue was that Hudson was simply ahead of its time. American car buyers just weren't ready to embrace a European-inspired coupe that didn't quite fit any category. Today, the Hudson Italia is a prized gem among collectors, a forgotten dream car that dared to be different, and still turns heads wherever it appears. And it set the tone for a decade full of creative risks, some that soared, and others that crashed. Which brings us to another ambitious gamble. Number 11, 1956 to 1957 Continental Mark II. If the Hudson Italia was a bold fusion of American ambition and Italian style, then the 1956 Continental Mark II was America's attempt to build a car so refined, so opulent, that it would rival the likes of Rolls-Royce. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. And Ford Motor Company was determined to make that statement loud and clear. Launched under a brand new division called Continental, the Mark II didn't carry a Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury badge. It was meant to stand alone, a symbol of pure, handcrafted luxury. Its design was restrained and elegant, especially compared to the flamboyant fins and chrome-heavy looks dominating the era. It had a long hood, low roofline, and a timeless silhouette. No tail fins, no flashy gimmicks, just class. Inside, it was even more impressive. The cabin featured genuine Scottish leather, real wood accents, and impeccable craftsmanship. Every Mark II was assembled with extreme attention to detail, with many elements finished by hand. Standard features included power steering, air conditioning, and even power windows, still luxuries at the time. It wasn't just a car you drove, it was a car you arrived in. But all this elegance came at a cost, literally. With a sticker price of around $10,000, it was one of the most expensive cars in America. That was roughly the cost of a new house back then. Even celebrities like Elvis Presley, Elizabeth Taylor, and Frank Sinatra were among its owners. But that wasn't enough to keep afloat. Ford lost money on every unit sold because of the astronomical production costs. In just 2 years, fewer than 3,000 units were sold. The Continental division was quietly folded back into Lincoln, and the Mark II became a cautionary tale, a car that was almost too perfect for its own good. Still, the Mark II wasn't a failure in spirit. It proved that American automakers could build with grace and subtlety, aiming for prestige over flash. And as we move to our next car, we'll see how another brand tried to be futuristic, but ended up too strange for its own good. Let me know when you're ready for number 10 to 1954 Kaiser Darrin. Number 10 to 1954 Kaiser Darrin, America's first fiberglass sports car. After witnessing the refined luxury of the Continental Mark II, let's shift gears to something radically different, the 1954 Kaiser Darrin. This car was an exotic splash of European styling right here in America, designed to capture the hearts of sports car enthusiasts hungry for something fresh and unique. The Kaiser Darrin was a brainchild of Howard Dutch Darrin, a designer famous for his elegant European coachwork. With his touch, the Darrin became America's very first sports car with a fiberglass body, beating even the Chevrolet Corvette by a few months to that milestone. Its look was unlike anything else on American roads in 1954, smooth, curvy lines, a low-slung stance, and an eye-catching front grille. But the real showstopper? Its distinctive sliding doors that disappeared into the front fenders. A futuristic design no one had seen before. But beauty and innovation weren't enough to guarantee success. Underneath its sleek body, the Kaiser Darrin was powered by a modest 90-horsepower inline-six engine. For a car that looked fast and sporty, this engine simply didn't deliver the punch buyers expected. The price was also steep, especially for a small sports car produced by a company already struggling financially. Production was tough and expensive, with only 435 cars built before the project was canceled. The Kaiser Darrin became a brief but bright flash of creativity, elegant, exotic, and daring, but ultimately out of place in the booming post-war American market where muscle and power were king. Still, the Darrin's legacy lives on as a rare gem cherished by collectors. Reminder that sometimes taking risks means standing apart, even if the world isn't quite ready. Number 9 to 1957 Chrysler 300C. From the elegant but niche Kaiser Darrin, we move to a powerhouse, the 1957 Chrysler 300C, a car that perfectly blended brute force with luxury. The 300C was a crown jewel of Chrysler's famous letter series, a line of high-performance, hand-built machines designed for those who wanted speed without sacrificing style. Under its hood roared a massive 392 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine, producing an impressive 375 horsepower. Truly beastly power for 1957, paired with a 3-speed torque-flight automatic transmission. The 300C could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 8 seconds, putting it on par with many European sports cars of the era. But this muscle car wasn't just about raw speed. Designed by the legendary Virgil Exner, the 300C sported the era's iconic forward look styling, sharp tail fins, a wide aggressive grille, and a sleek sloped roofline. Inside, premium leather upholstery and refined craftsmanship gave it an upscale feel, making the 300C feel as comfortable at a cocktail party as it was on the drag strip. Yet this high performance and luxury came with a high price, nearly double the cost of a Chevy Bel Air. The 300C targeted a very specific clientele, buyers who demanded both power and sophistication. This narrow market meant sales were limited to just under 1,900 units. Despite its commercial rarity, the 300C has become legendary in the muscle car world. A muscle car in a tuxedo, proving that American automakers could create vehicles that were as refined as they were fast. Number 8 to 1950 Nash Airflight. If the Chrysler 300C was muscle-wrapped in luxury, the 1950 Nash Airflight was pure futuristic minimalism. In a decade known for flashy chrome and bold tail fins, Nash Motor Company decided to swim against the current with the Airflight, a car that looked unlike anything else on the road. The Airflight featured a rounded aerodynamic shape with covered rear wheels and a curved windshield that flowed seamlessly into the roof. From a distance, it resembled a giant pill rolling down the highway. Nash believed this sleek design would reduce air resistance, improve fuel economy, and offer a smoother, quieter ride at high speeds. All visionary ideas in 1950. Inside, the Airflight offered surprising innovation. Its seats could fold flat to form a bed, something almost unheard of at the time. The interior was clean and simple, matching the car's minimalist exterior. However, Nash's bold vision didn't align with mainstream American tastes. Buyers found the Airflight's shape odd and plain, lacking the flamboyance and personality that defined the decade's cars. While competitors poured chrome and tail fins on their models, Nash chose restraint, and as a result, sales dropped sharply. Though the Airflight was a technical leap forward, it simply didn't capture the public's imagination. Today, it stands as a fascinating example of innovation misunderstood, a car that tried to shape the future but got lost in the past. Number 7 to 1953 Buick Skylark. Our next stop is a 1953 Buick Skylark, a car designed to celebrate Buick's 50th anniversary with a blend of sportiness and luxury. Based on the larger Roadmaster, the Skylark was radically redesigned to stand out, featuring lowered fenders, large wire wheels, and a Chop Sport windshield that gave it a sleek and dynamic look. Under the hood, the Skylark has a powerful 322 cubic inch nailhead V8 engine producing about 188 horsepower, a strong performance for the time. Inside, The interior was a masterpiece of craftsmanship, handcrafted leather seats, a unique steering wheel, and tasteful chrome details that elevated the car's prestige. Each Skylark was almost hand-built, giving it a rare custom feel in an era of mass production. It was designed to compete with luxury brands, but at a price of nearly $5,000 was close to Cadillac territory, a tough sell for Buick, which wasn't yet considered a top-tier luxury name. Buyers hesitated. They wanted the prestige of Cadillac, but at a more accessible price point. In the end, only about 1,690 Skylarks were sold that year, marking the car as a beautiful but commercial disappointment. Yet the Skylark laid the groundwork for Buick's future success and showed that even a brand not known for luxury could reach for something higher, a theme we'll see echoed in many cars of the 1950s. Number 6 to 1957. Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. As we move deeper into the 1950s, it's clear that car makers were pushing boundaries in style and technology. Yet few dared to dream as boldly as Mercury did with their 1957 Turnpike Cruiser. At a time when most cars flaunted chrome overload and flashy tail fins, Mercury took a completely different path, crafting a car that seemed to leap straight into the future. The Turnpike Cruiser was packed with advanced features that were almost unbelievable for the era. Imagine a wraparound panoramic windshield that gave drivers an amazing field of vision, or push-button power vent windows, and an automatic climate control system. A luxury unheard of back then. The car's standout floating dashboard held a Euro-style speedometer, futuristic and practical all at once. Its exterior was just as revolutionary. A unique floating roof design with twin antenna fins built right in, wild tail lamps, and a long, sleek body made it look like it had just rolled off a sci-fi movie set. Mercury wasn't just making a car, they were making a statement about the future of driving. But here's a catch. That same boldness became the car's undoing. Many buyers found the Turnpike Cruiser too complex, too unfamiliar, and too far removed from the classic American car image. Its price tag was also steep, leading many customers to stick with more traditional and affordable choices like Ford or Chevrolet models. Though Mercury produced nearly 17,000 units, the Turnpike Cruiser didn't last long and quietly faded away. Today, it's remembered as a daring, visionary car that was simply ahead of its time, a glimpse of what could have been if the public had been ready for such innovation. Number 5 to 1955 Lincoln Futura. Speaking of futuristic, the 1955 Lincoln Futura was perhaps the most ambitious concept car of the decade, a vehicle that looked like it belonged not on the highway, but in a space station. Created by Ford's design team, the Futura stunned with its twin bubble canopies, wide and low stance, and fish fin grille styling. The headlights were cleverly hidden beneath clear covers, adding to its sleek, science fiction vibe. Inside, the innovation continued with a symmetrical dashboard, red and white leather seats, and a steering wheel inspired by spaceships, a true vision of the future. Built on a Lincoln Mark II chassis, nearly everything else was one of a kind, pushing the boundaries of design and technology, despite glowing praise from critics and fascination from the public. Number 4 to 1951 Studebaker Commander Starlight Coupe. While the Futura looked to outer space, the 1951 Studebaker Commander Starlight Coupe took inspiration from aviation, a theme running through many 1950s designs. French designer Raymond Loewy imagined a car that broke every mold, and the Starlight Coupe was his masterpiece. What set it apart was its extraordinary design feature. The window glass extended from the B-pillar all the way around the rear, forming a dome-like cockpit that resembled an aircraft observation deck. This created an airy, panoramic cabin unlike anything else on American roads, emphasizing openness and visibility. But uniqueness was a double-edged sword. Some American buyers joked it looked backward, as the rear design mirrored the front in a way that seemed confusing or odd. Many felt it was too different, too unfamiliar to fit in with traditional car designs of the era. Sales were modest but steady, with the coupe never achieving big commercial success. Still, with the passage of time, the Starlight Coupe has earned recognition as a bold milestone, a symbol of post-war American innovation and daring design, reminding us how pushing boundaries can sometimes alienate buyers, but ultimately pave the way for the future. Number 3 to 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. Cadillac was known for bold statements, massive tail fins, shiny chrome, and unmistakable presence. But in 1959, the luxury giant decided to try something different with the Eldorado Brougham, and for this, they called in the help of famed Italian design house Pininfarina. The result was a Cadillac unlike any before. No towering tail fins, no flashy chrome overload. Instead, the car featured smooth, minimalist body lines and refined proportions inspired by European elegance. It whispered sophistication rather than shouting it. Inside, the Eldorado Brougham still boasted full Cadillac luxury. Real leather seats for carpeting and every power feature imaginable, but wrapped in a lighter, more graceful ambience. It was a fresh take on American luxury, designed to impress with subtlety and class. Only 99 units were hand-built in Italy and shipped to the U.S. Despite the craftsmanship and exclusivity, American buyers weren't ready for this quieter Cadillac. They missed the grandiosity, the iconic tail fins, and the bold presence that had defined the brand. The Eldorado Brougham quietly failed to capture the market's imagination. Today, it's celebrated by collectors as a rare masterpiece. Proof that even the biggest names can take risks, sometimes with mixed results. It also shows how taste can change, and how beauty sometimes needs time to be fully appreciated. Number 2, to 1957 Dodge Adventurer Convertible. The 1957 Dodge Adventurer Convertible was one of those rare cars that perfectly blended style, power, and luxury. A true statement piece for its time. With its sleek, forward-looking design by the legendary Virgil Exner, it featured soaring tail fins, a long, well-balanced body, a sharp and elegant grille, and tasteful chrome trim that made it impossible to ignore. The Adventurer was the kind of convertible that turned heads and made you want to take it for a spin just to feel its energy. Inside, the luxury continued with a stylish two-tone interior, a modern dashboard layout, and a sporty three-spoke steering wheel that put the driver in control. But this wasn't just about looks. Under the hood roared a 345 cubic inch V8 engine producing exactly 345 horsepower. A powerful beast that showcased Dodge's commitment to performance and muscle. Yet, despite all these incredible features and undeniable charm, the Adventurer's fate was tied to the company's overall health. Dodge, at the time, was struggling with brand identity and losing the trust of many customers. Rumors about financial troubles and the brand's uncertain future scared away buyers, no matter how impressive the car itself was. Only a few hundred Adventurer convertibles were ever made, and by the early 1960s, Dodge had all but disappeared from the premium convertible market. Still, the Adventurer remains a shining example of what could have been a gorgeous, powerful car that was sadly overshadowed by bigger company issues. Today, collectors cherish it as a symbol of 1950s American automotive elegance, mixed with raw muscle power. Number 1, to 1955 LaSalle Roadster. Topping our list is a 1955 LaSalle Roadster, a car that looks like it was plucked straight out of a modern Grand Tourer magazine, sleek, sporty, and elegant, but with a history that ended before it even truly began. Unlike the big, bold Cadillacs of the time, the LaSalle Roadster took a quieter approach. It featured a lightweight fiberglass body, sporty proportions, a low-slung roofline, and a clean, simple grille. This was luxury with a modern, understated style, a car that whispered sophistication rather than shouted it. Inside, the Roadster was just as refined, with a two-seat layout, a minimalist dashboard, and a sporty three-spoke steering wheel designed for driving pleasure. But here's where it really stood out. It was powered by a V6 engine with electronic fuel injection, technology decades ahead of its time, promising efficiency and smooth performance that no other car of the era could match. Despite its potential, the Roadster never made it to production. General Motors, the parent company, decided not to bring back LaSalle as a brand, and this stunning concept was locked away in the archives. It became a symbol of what could have been a car that pushed the boundaries of style and technology, but fell victim to corporate decisions and timing. Looking back at these 12 cars, the story is clear. They didn't fail because they were bad, but because they were often too different, too advanced, or simply not what the market wanted at the time. Yet these cars remain beloved symbols of creativity and boldness. Forgotten legends reminding us that sometimes the most beautiful ideas take time to be understood.